Welcome back to the Relationship Refinery. I'm Asia, and I'm here to help you redefine as well as refine the way that you view healthy relationships. For the month of October, we're going to be talking about some scary things that happen in relationships that can lead to an unhealthy relationship. Whether you're single or you're dating or you're in a marriage or a long-term relationship or whatever, there is something here for you to learn. And I strongly encourage that you take the time out to think about you, not your partner. I mean, you could think about your partner as well, but also think about yourself in the ways that you are committing these things in the relationship. Before we get started, as usual, make sure that you subscribe as well as hit the notification bell so that you can stay tuned for all the videos that I post coming up. Additionally, make sure that you send this to a friend because you never know who can need it, as well as like the video. Let's go ahead and get started. As the title suggests, today we're talking about lying. And you may feel like everybody lies, and that's true. We all lie. We have all said some type of lie or exaggerated something or intentionally left out information, but that's still a lie. I want to read you some statistics that's from the University of Wisconsin. They did a study on why some people lie, and it says that 21% of people lie to avoid others. 20% lie as a joke or a prank. 14% to protect themselves. 13% to impress or appear more favorable. 11% to protect another person. 9% for a personal benefit or a gain. 5% for the benefit of another person. 2% to hurt another person. And 5% unspecified reason or explicitly for no reason at all. It says that about 75% of the respondents told 0 to 2 lies every day. So I know that statistic is probably not going to speak for everybody, but if we are all lying every day, if let's say 0 to 2 lies a day, then how do we know what's true? And how is that affecting our relationships? So it's like because it's Halloween, it's like a ghost that lingers. When you say lies, you have to continue, you have to follow up, keep those lies up. I remember being younger and my mom telling me, you shouldn't lie because then you got to remember that lie and you got to tell another lie to keep up with that lie, and you just got to keep going. I'm going to share the scripture with you. Proverbs 12:22 says that the lying tongue or lying lips are an abomination to the Lord. It displeases the Lord when we lie. But don't we all lie? Isn't that why Jesus died on the cross for our sins? Yes, but that does not mean that we should just blatantly lie. And I understand sometimes you may feel like, well, I lied to my partner because if I told her that I hated the way that dress fit on her, her feelings would be hurt. And I understand that, and there's different, once again, as I just stated the statistics, there's various reasons why people lie, but a lie is still a lie. Whether you tell a part of the truth and omit another part of the truth, that's still a lie. So omission is still a lie. Little white lies are still a lie. A blatant lie to make yourself seem like you're better than you actually are, or saying that I didn't do this when you actually did, is still a lie. Pastor Brian Carter from Concord Church, which is the church that I used to attend, he talked about how a lie is something is not just you blatantly, I'm saying that the sky is green when really the sky is blue. Like, not just a blatant lie. Not only is that a lie, but when you're intentionally trying to make something seem like something is not, that's a lie. And so that's where omission comes in as well. So if you have a significant other that's just like, hey, where'd you go? I thought you were gonna be here by 5 and you came here at 6. What happened? Where'd you go? And you're like, oh, I went to the grocery store. Which may be true. Maybe you did go to the grocery store after work, or whatever, you did go to the grocery store, but you left out the part about how you stopped and got food, or you left out the part about how you stopped by your homeboy's house, or whatever the case may be. You may feel like, well, that's not really relevant. I did go to the grocery store, but that's not the reason why you're late. The reason why you're late is because you made multiple stops, right? You purposely omitting that is a lie. Many people already know. If you ask them what makes a healthy relationship, many people will say trust is one of the top things, of course. So then why do we continue to lie? Not just in our romantic relationships, we lie in our friendships, in our familial relationships as well. I really strongly encourage you to take a look at the relationships around you and think about the times that you lie. Once again, it may be little white lies like, oh, I loved your outfit, I love that dress, or I love the gift you gave me. Or it may be omissions like, Oh yeah, the reason why I'm late is because I stopped by the grocery store. And you're not telling them the rest of the things that you did. According to the Gottman Stonehouse relationship, one of the pillars, so like the structure of the house, like one of the walls, not the foundation, but like if you build houses, you know what I'm talking about. Or if you know about houses, you know what I'm talking about. The pillar is trust. The other one's commitment. And so if you don't have trust in a relationship, you cannot have a healthy relationship. So that's what I'm saying. Take a look at the times in which you lie. For example, if we use the seemingly minor thing, oh, well, I tell them that I like this gift that they gave me because I don't want to hurt their feelings. Well, it's building distrust because now they think, oh man, I did a great job buying them this gift. But if you say something like, oh my gosh, thank you, I really appreciate, or not to be that dramatic, but like let them know, I really appreciate, that was so very thoughtful for you to have given me this. And I don't know what your style is, but somehow letting them know like, this is not really my style, but I can see how you thought that. I'm not really into this type of thing. Would you mind if, I don't know, if you returned it? Would you mind would your feelings be hurt if I gave it to somebody that I know could use it? Or I don't know, just somehow letting them know that that's not something that you really like. Because if you tell them that, then they're gonna think that, oh, they like it. They may buy you something similar the next time. Like when I cook, I always tell people, if you don't like it, or when I try a new recipe, I always tell them, if you don't like it, don't lie to me and tell me that you like it. Because what if I cook it again? And then you're like, oh, well, dang. An example of this is I made some jerk pasta for my dad one time. And I made it before. I made it, for my partner, for my significant other. He likes it. I made it for other people. They like it. I made it for my dad. And, I always ask him, hey, what you think? And he said he liked it. Well, later on down the line, he, finally said, oh, I really don't like the jerk seasoning. And I was like, well, or I didn't put it in the pasta this time. I put it in something else. And he was like, you use that jerk seasoning? Yeah, I really don't like it. And I was like, why didn't you tell me that? I wouldn't have put it in the whatever I was making if I would have known that you didn't like it. So that's why it's important for you not just to not lie to your significant other, but for you also not to lie to family members, to friends, because once again, one of the pillars of a healthy relationship is trust. You cannot build trust if you and the other person are lying to each other. You're single and you're currently looking to date, and you have an online profile or social media or whatever the case may be. Think about the lies that are on that page. Think about, are you lying and pretending that you have all this money? Are you lying and pretending like you have this job? Are you lying and pretending like you are happy in life? Like, not to say that everybody needs to know every detail of your business, but those are lies, regardless of if you think that they are or not. If somebody were to enter into a relationship with you, whether romantic, platonic, or some other form, are they going to be deceived? I am a marriage and family therapist associate, so I do see couples as well. So I'm not just pulling stuff out my behind. These are things that I studied, things that I work on with the couples that I see as well. And one of the things, like I said, is trust is a, pillar of a healthy relationship. And so one of the things that I really teach my clients is, how do you create emotional safety within the relationship? So one of the reasons why people lie is because they don't feel like that they can tell the truth. They're trying to make themselves seem better, or they're trying to withhold some information that they feel like it's going to hurt the other person, or or that they don't feel like that their partner is going to react positively to whatever it is that they did, or whatever, what they're thinking. And so, like I said, I tell my couples, you have to create emotional safety for your partner to be honest with you. You can't say that you want honesty in the relationship, but then when they're honest, you're blowing up. Or when they're honest, you're trying to change their mind about something. Like, you're asking them their opinion, they're honest about it, and you're like, oh no, your thought is wrong, your opinion is wrong, we're gonna have to figure something else out, you need to be thinking like this. That's not creating emotional safety. So what are some ways that you can create emotional safety? One, you have to assess yourself. You have to really think about, understand why you think the way that you do. But also, you have to accept that everybody does not think like you, and that's okay. You have to be able to accept that one person, or first of all, that perception, everybody's perception is different. So if you are, you may say that the sky is blue, but somebody else's perception may say, oh, well, it is blue, but it's looking more, I don't know, purplish to me. And you have to understand that their perspective is their perspective. Their opinion is their opinion, you know? Now, there's a difference between opinion and fact. So if somebody were to say like the sky is baby blue versus the sky is just blue, that's two different, you know, opinions. Fact is the sky is up, it's not down. You know, that's fact versus opinion. But allow your partner, even if y'all are married, I know the two becomes one, but that does not mean that all your thoughts, your opinions, and things must become one. So give your partner an opportunity to be honest with you. Give them an opportunity to say, you know, I am upset with you. Give them an opportunity to say, I don't like when you cook this. Give them an opportunity to say, I actually don't like that outfit on you. Like, I think that, you know, you can wear something different. And if you are on the other side of that, make sure listen. I have couples as well who are like, well, I'm just blunt. That's just how I am. When you enter into a relationship, you're supposed to change. The core of you is supposed to stay the same, but you're supposed to improve yourself. Even when you have children, you're not supposed to be super blunt, because children's emotions are so fragile. So, you know, they're so, you know, I guess fragile is the best way to put it. Make sure that you are handling emotions, other people's emotions and feelings and thoughts with care, delicately, okay? Everybody's emotions, feelings, like I said, thoughts, values, just the different things like that are made of glass. And there's a lot of people who enter into relationships that do not need to be handling glass. They're like toddlers. You wouldn't hand a 2-year-old a glass plate or like a vase or something like that. They're likely gonna break it. So how can you expect for your partner, if you're acting, if your maturity is like a toddler, your emotional, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. I'll put it up here because I can't remember. Your ability to read other people's or understand other people's emotions. Sorry, my brain is leaving me right now. Is that of a toddler. You're not mature. How can you expect for your partner to be honest with you when you don't handle their feelings, emotions, values, opinions with care? You can feel like, even if y'all have two different views, I know election season's coming up, even if y'all have two different views on elections, things like that, you may feel like this person is voting for party A and I'm voting for party B, and I just do not even understand how you can vote for party A. Well, you gotta hold space for that person to still feel the way they feel. That doesn't mean y'all can't have conversation. That doesn't mean that you can't even, you know, like discuss why you feel the way that you feel and they discuss the way that they feel. But you can't shut down everything that they talk about. You know what I mean? Like, you can't, whenever they say how they feel, you can't just be like, I don't want to hear how you feel. You have to be able to give them the space, the opportunity for you to take, and I'm not saying take it on and you feel it, you don't have to, but for you to take it, for you to validate it, for you to see where they're coming from, for you to try to see things from their perspective. Otherwise, you're not going to create emotional security with them, and they're not going to be honest with you. So that is one of the things, like I said, that I work with my couples on, is how do you build emotional safety within the relationship? Because if you have previously shut down or have criticized your partner for feeling the way they feel, you can't expect for them to be honest with you. Of course they're gonna lie. Of course they're gonna say, oh yeah, that doesn't bother me. And that can lead to them feeling resentment towards you. Now you wonder, what's wrong with you? You acting real funny all of a sudden. Well, because you didn't give them the opportunity to create that space, you know, to let you know how they feel. So now they're feeling like they have to bury it, they have to hold on to it. So that's just, you know, another way that emotional safety is important. And then also, I encourage those couples, especially if they have a difficult time and maybe you grew up in an environment to where you couldn't be honest, to where you had to be sneaky excuse me, to where you had to be sneaky, to where you had to feel like I can't tell my mom this, I can't tell my dad this. They said I can come to them about anything, but truthfully I cannot, because when I tell them how I feel, they belittle me, or they make me feel like, you know, that I'm dumb, or they make me feel whatever way. That can lead over into a relationship, right? So you have to, and in addition to the relationship having safety in it, you have to also be willing to take risks. You have to be willing to be honest, to, you know, take the step and say, this is how I feel, this is what I think, these are my thoughts, these are, you know, whatever. and see how that person excuse me, and see how that person handles that. Sometimes if we grew up in that way, or if in previous relationships, like if we're not secure in ourselves, we may lie to make ourselves seem bigger or better than we actually are, right? And that may become a habit to where you have become somewhat of a habitual liar. Someone asks you how much you make, and you're like, oh, I make $200,000 every year. I got this big old office. It's facing downtown with the big windows, and I do this. It's just automatic for you because that's what you want in life. You have to be humble enough to come back and say, you know what, I lied. I don't actually make this much money. I don't actually do this. I don't actually do that. If you grew up in an environment to where you did not feel like you could be honest, mom said you can come and talk to her about anything, but whenever you came to talk to her about whatever, your thoughts, whatever, your feelings, your emotions, your values, your opinions, she didn't handle them with care. She handled it like she broke it, she dropped it, this glass thing, this very fragile thing. Or dad, maybe, even maybe dad not being there, or mom not being there, physically present or emotionally present, in whatever that may look like for you. You could even have parents who did their dang best, raised you well, but they still did not know how to handle your thoughts, your opinions, your values, and all that, especially if they were different from theirs. And that could lead to you feeling uncomfortable with sharing those things with other people who are intimate with you, because, as I've said before, your relationship with your parents is the first relationship that you typically have, right? So they kind of set the foundation for your future relationships, your friendships, and your romantic relationships and things like that. So if your parents, the people who raised you, who loved you, are not showing you that all of those things that I said, your feelings, your thoughts, your values, your opinions, all of that, are worthy of them valuing, then that could encourage you to shut down with other relationships as well. That can encourage you to feel like, no, I can't tell people my dreams and my goals, because they're going to try to change them, they're going to laugh at them, they're not going to understand or even try to understand. So then that can encourage you to either lie, say little white lies, blatantly lie, or even just, lie through omniscient, right? If you are someone who finds yourself habitually lying because you don't feel like that you can trust other people with those things, that glass vase that you have to be willing to come back and say, I was not being honest. And this is coming from someone who has had to do that. I'm not just telling you this, like, I've had to do that. I've lied to, friends, family, my parents, my boyfriend. We, both of us, in not just me and my boyfriend, but in other relationships as well, other platonic as well as familiar relationships, where we've had to assess the space that we hold for each other. Is it safe for us to be honest? And then once we realize that, it really is a safe space, or we want to maintain that healthy relationship, we have to be able to come forward and say, I was not honest with you. This is actually the truth. We have to put our pride to the side. Nobody wants to go back and say that I lied or I was wrong, right? But that repair is going to do so much better than you holding on to the lie and pretending like that's actually the truth. Like, you holding on to it, now you gotta remember the lie and keep up with the lie and lie about the lie, versus you just saying, you know what, I lied. It may cause some discomfort in the relationship. Trust is gonna decrease because you lied. Now it's like, can I trust this person? But you will very likely be able to repair it and have a healthy relationship if you come back and say, I did lie. Then take a break, take a moment before you answer questions as well. Especially if you're someone who tends to lie a lot. So if somebody asks you, how are you doing today? That's something we tend to lie about, right? How are you doing? Oh, I'm good. How are you doing? When really you was crying this morning and it's still bothering you. A stranger, you might not want to tell a stranger, but then you never know who could help you. And side note, I'm always telling people to go to therapy, right? I always tell people to go to therapy. I just feel like everybody should be in therapy. I'm in therapy, okay? And I'm a whole therapist associate, and I'm in therapy. You can't lie to your therapist and think that therapy doesn't work for me. Well, it didn't work because you weren't being honest. Because once again, you feel like I can't give nobody else this space. So I don't feel like I can trust my therapist enough to hold this space either. So I'm gonna lie, or I'm gonna omit things, or I'm gonna tell little white lies, or I'm gonna exaggerate things. Exaggeration, that's another form of lying. I'm gonna exaggerate things and make them seem bigger than what they actually are. Well, of course therapy not gonna work for you, baby. You not telling the truth. I can't help you if you're not telling me the whole truth. Nothing but the truth, the good, bad, and the ugly. Okay? Because I'm not here to judge you. I'm here to help you. But I can't help you if you're not telling me everything. Okay? So, I don't know who needs to hear that. Somebody watching this needs to hear that. Tell your therapist the truth, please. Back to the conversation we were having. If you lie, you can. I'm giving you permission in case you needed it. You can go back and say, I was dishonest. I want to repair this relationship. I want to build trust. I understand that by me lying to you, it's going to decrease the trust that we have. But I want you to know that I really value this relationship, whether it's platonic, familiar, or romantic. And this is me coming back and saying, you know, I want to be honest. So to recap everything that I talked about today, honesty is super important. Lying, whether it's through omission, whether it's through exaggeration, white lies, or just blatantly lying just because you want to make yourself seem better than what you are, is not healthy. That's not a help in the relationship. It's not building a healthy relationship, because one of the pillars of a healthy relationship is trust. You can't trust somebody or build trust with somebody if you are lying. Once again, if you are a single person and you are lying on your social media profile or on your dating app profiles or whatever, then how can you expect for that person to trust you when you already starting off the relationship lying? Like, once they find out the information, even if they have fallen in love, do you not think that it would hurt them to hear that you lied? The person that they think they're falling in love with is somebody completely different. And if you are currently in a relationship, I strongly suggest that you and your significant other, that y'all sit down and assess, are you lying? Is there a lie that y'all are basing this relationship on, whether it's minor, whether it's major? And you know, if you listen to the Holy Spirit, if the Holy Spirit tells you to go back and tell the truth, go back and tell the truth. If the Holy Spirit says, hey, just move forward, then from now on, really take a moment and think about, am I lying about this? Am I telling the full truth? Remember, a lie is not just I'm blatantly lying, so I'm saying that I got up at, you know, I was up at 7 this morning when really I didn't get up till 10. You know, like, it's not just that lie. It's omitting information because you're trying to make things seem like something that they're not. So once again, going back to the, oh, I was late because I stopped by the store. Well, that might be true, but you also late because you didn't get up on time, or because you didn't leave the house on time, or because, you know, not only did you stop by the store, but you also stopped at these other places as well. But you left that out because, for whatever reason. And encouraging you to come back and be honest. Encouraging you to tell the truth. If you have to go back and say that I was dishonest, that's something that you just gotta do. I hope that you found this video interesting. I hope that you feel convicted. Remember Proverbs 12:22, that it says that a lying tongue is an abomination to the Lord. The Lord detests when we lie, and I'm sure you detest when other people lie to you as well. So make sure that you're telling the truth, you know, the best that you can. Of course, we all are going to lie in some form, in some way, but make sure that you are doing what you can to be honest, especially if you want a healthy relationship. I know that that's easier said than done, but it takes practice. It's a muscle that you're going to have to practice, and one of the ways that you practice is going back and telling the truth. Okay. Oh, and creating emotional safety. That's another thing that we talked about, is creating emotional safety within the relationship. Make sure you're doing that. I would love if you once again subscribe, as well as turn on the notification bell. Like this video, send it to a friend, and as well as leave a comment in the comment section. I'm curious to know some of the stories that y'all have where you have lied, or where particularly times when you have lied, because we all got stories when an ex or a friend or somebody lied to us, parent have lied to us. I want to hear about times when you lied to your parents, when you lied to your significant other, or when you lied to, you know, a friend, and how did that turn out? Like, what were the consequences of that? Stay tuned for the next video.